What if I told you that some of the most horrifying creatures from ancient legends might not be myths at all? What if the stories were warnings, and these monsters are still lurking in the shadows? Stay with me till the end because what you're about to hear will send chills down your spine. Let's begin our terrifying journey. Number 10. The Wendigo, the flesh-hungry spirit. Deep in the frozen forests of North America, a horrifying legend has been whispered for centuries. The Wendigo. This skeletal, emaciated creature is said to be a cursed human, transformed into an insatiable predator after committing the ultimate taboo, cannibalism. But here's where it gets terrifying. Modern reports of Wendigo sightings are still occurring. In 2019, hikers in Canada reported seeing a gaunt, tall figure moving unnaturally fast between the trees. It let out an ear-piercing scream, and the air turned ice cold. Within minutes, they realized something horrifying. One of their friends had gone missing without a trace. Authorities found their campsite torn apart, but no human footprints were discovered. Only deep claw marks in the trees. Could the Wendigo still be lurking, waiting for its next victim? Number 9. The Black-Eyed Children, the sinister visitors. Imagine you're home alone and suddenly there's a knock at the door. You open it, and standing there are two children, pale, emotionless, and with solid black eyes. They speak in a monotone voice, asking to come inside. A chill runs down your spine, and every instinct tells you to shut the door immediately. People across the world have reported encounters with these eerie children. One man from Texas claimed he let them in, and his life turned into a nightmare. Strange illnesses, shadowy figures in his home, and the feeling of being constantly watched. A few months later, he was found dead under mysterious circumstances, with no sign of forced entry or struggle. The scariest part? The last thing he texted his friend was, "They are inside." Who or what are these black-eyed children? And why do those who encounter them never seem to be the same again? Number 8. The Nuckalevee, the skinless horseman of death. From the misty shores of Scotland comes one of the most terrifying creatures in folklore, the Nuckalevee. Picture a monstrous, skinless horse with a twisted humanoid figure fused to its back. Its exposed muscles glisten, its breath is toxic, and its mere presence brings disease and death. Sailors feared seeing the Nuckalevee near the coast, as its arrival signaled plagues and famine. But here's where it gets horrifying. There have been recent reports from fishermen who claim to have seen something massive rise from the water before disappearing into the fog. Some say their boats were rocked violently, while others returned with unexplained burns on their skin. Could the Nuckalevee be more than just legend? Is it watching from beneath the waves, waiting for its time to surface once more? Number 7. The Manananggal, the horrifying, flying torso. In the Philippines, there exists a creature so terrifying, it will haunt your nightmares, the Manananggal. A woman by day, but at night, she undergoes a horrifying transformation. Her body splits in half, her severed torso grows bat-like wings, and she flies off in search of sleeping victims. Her favorite prey? Pregnant women and newborns. She uses her elongated tongue to suck the life out of her victims, leaving them lifeless by morning. But here's where it gets even creepier. There are real reports from villages claiming to have seen a flying creature attacking homes at night. In 2016, CCTV footage from a rural town showed a shadowy winged figure lurking near rooftops. The next morning, an expecting mother was found unconscious with strange puncture wounds on her stomach. What if the Manananggal isn't just a story, but a reality lurking in the dark? Wait, please, pay attention. Knowledge is power, and I'm giving it all to you. Now you really should subscribe. And yes, you must watch the full video too. Please, let's resume. Number 6. The Rake, the nightmare that watches you sleep. There are some things worse than monsters under the bed, and the Rake is one of them. First emerging in online forums, this pale, humanoid creature with razor-sharp fingers and soulless eyes was dismissed as internet fiction. That is, until people started seeing it in real life. In 2017, a security camera in New York captured footage of a gaunt, hairless figure crawling on all fours near a family's backyard. Days later, their young daughter woke up screaming, claiming the skinny man was watching her from the closet. The father set up more cameras, but after reviewing the footage, he was left horrified. Frames were missing, as if something had deliberately erased itself from existence. If the rake is real, how long before it finds you? Number 5. The Wendigo. The flesh-hungry spirit of the North Deep in the forests of Canada and the northern United States. Legends whisper of a horrifying creature known as the Wendigo. This gaunt, skeletal figure with glowing eyes and decaying skin is said to be born when a human gives in to their darkest urges: cannibalism. But here's the truly chilling part. There are still reports today of people vanishing in Wendigo territory, with some returning in a trance-like state, claiming they heard a voice calling them into the woods. Were they just lost? Or were they being lured by something hungry? Just when you think this legend is ancient history, consider this. Some psychologists believe Wendigo psychosis is a real mental condition, where individuals suddenly develop an insatiable craving for human flesh. Could this be proof that the Wendigo isn't just folklore, but an actual dark force influencing people even today? Number 4. The Knuckle-a-V, the skinless horseman of the sea. Most nightmares fade when you wake up, but what if the worst nightmare lived in the real world? The Knuckle-a-V is a monstrous, skinless fusion of man and horse, with bulging veins pumping black blood and a breath so toxic it withers crops. Originating from the Orkney Islands in Scotland, this creature is said to rise from the sea and bring disease and destruction wherever it goes. Fishermen have reported seeing strange shadows beneath the water, only to later find entire schools of fish floating lifelessly on the surface. But the scariest tale: a lone traveler once claimed he saw a twisted, horse-like beast standing in the fog, its rider grinning with hollow eyes. The next morning, the village woke to find their livestock dead, without a single wound. Was it disease, or did the Knuckle-a-V bring its curse to life? If everything you've watched so far has taught you something new, then you must subscribe. Because what's coming next is even more valuable. Don't miss out. Number 3. The Black Shuck, the phantom hellhound that leaves no survivors. A chilling storm rattles the windows, the winds howl, and then you see them. Glowing red eyes, staring through the darkness. The Black Shuck, the legendary demon hound of England, is said to be a harbinger of death, appearing just before a great tragedy strikes. Number 2. The Aswang, the nightmarish shapeshifter that hunts in the Philippines. If you ever find yourself wandering the countryside of the Philippines at night, beware of the Aswang. This horrifying creature is a master of deception. It can appear as a beautiful woman by day, but transforms into a monstrous, bloodthirsty predator at night. Unlike traditional vampires, the Aswang doesn't just drink blood. It prefers to feast on human organs, especially those of pregnant women. And here's the nightmare fuel. Some locals claim that if you hear a slow, distant, tick-tick sound, it means the Aswang is actually very close. And if it sounds loud, that means it's still far away, giving its victims a false sense of security before it strikes. Many villagers still leave garlic and salt around their homes to keep the Aswang away. But terrifyingly, some believe that modern Aswangs have adapted to city life, preying on the unsuspecting in dark alleyways. Could you be living among one without knowing? Number 1. The Rake, the unexplainable creature that haunts the internet and real life. This isn't just an ancient legend, it's something people claim to have seen today. The Rake is a terrifying humanoid creature with pale skin, elongated fingers, and soulless black eyes. It moves with unnatural speed and has been spotted lurking outside windows, standing at the edge of beds, and even whispering to people in their sleep. What makes the Rake truly horrifying is that its origins aren't tied to any single culture. Instead, reports of this eerie figure have come from different countries at different times, often from people who have no connection to each other. Some believe it's a shared delusion. Others think it's something much worse, an entity that wants to be seen. The most disturbing case? In 2003, a series of strange journal entries surfaced online, describing a man who encountered the Rake multiple times before mysteriously disappearing. His final words? "He is watching me. He knows I know." Could the Rake be real? Or is it something even more terrifying? Something we've collectively willed into existence? That's it for the top 10 scariest creatures from folklore that might be real. But now I want to hear from you. Which of these legends terrified you the most? Or do you know of an even scarier creature that we should cover in a future video? Let us know in the comments. And before you go, please subscribe, because hitting your subscribe button can give me new motivation to work harder and succeed. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, just because it's folklore doesn't mean it's not real.